Yes, indeed, y'all. Yes, indeed. Welcome to UDR Productions. Please like, subscribe, and share. It doesn't cost you nothing to subscribe, so we can keep bringing you guys all this good content from prayer to streets. UDR Productions. Let's go and let's get it.
Once again, you listen to your boy MVP, most valuable poet. We want to give a shout out to Murphy's Law. Like I said, Rasta Pasta, seafood, wine, that's the spot. Jewelry, electronics, everything that you think of, clothes. Each corresponds to spot. Once again, 76 Glenwood Avenue, Bristol, Connecticut. All you gotta do is mention UDR Productions, Go Love Team, and you get a discount. But once again, I want to just introduce Brother Roland, and we had a great conversation, and right before we got to part two, you know, we're just sharing some more ideas to like really bounce about. And one thing that I want to continue to build off of is this idea about jail. Not saying we're glorifying it, not saying we're promoting it, but there's a reason why the word jail is in this conversation. You hear a lot of stories about young people, brothers and sisters. You hear older folks, brothers and sisters, doing something they shouldn't be doing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was caught out at 16, but that doesn't define me. It's what I did with those trials that define who I was. And let me tell you something, God saved me. That's factual. And I don't hide that from nobody. I don't compromise that for anybody. And during that time that I had to overcome that type of barrier in my life, that motivated me to continue to be persistent, to be relentless, and to continue to go and go further and just keep reaching and reaching until you accomplish that goal and get an opportunity. And that was the strong faith that I had, that God gave me, right? Now, today, I see a lot of young people, we were talking about that earlier, about young people being behind bars for something, selling drugs, fights, assault, so forth, right? Now, look how the world is so hypocritical. They expect young people to do better, even grown-ups, to do better. But when they want to do better, and when they're applying on the application and they ask about, like, you know, any criminal history, and they check off yes, because they're not going to lie about it, they're going to go background check, they still get denied. Now, I'm not saying that you make excuses, because at the end of the day, you got to persevere and keep going. But there is a hypocritical aspect of that from a societal standpoint, that how can you want someone to do better, and they want to do better, but you're not giving a chance to do better, but you expect them to do better. You know what I mean? So it's very hypocritical. So let's speak about that, but let's talk about that. So what does it mean for you to say, you know what? Don't let your trials define you, but it's not the trials that define who you are, but it's how you deal with the trials that define who you really are. So talk about what that means to persevere, especially through a time when someone's just trying to get home from prison or just getting out of jail, in your perspective. And let's just take it from there.
Alright, so I think that's one of the dopest things in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the reason I say that, I see my mother be in the gutters.
Right.
I see my mother in the gutters. Okay. Be pregnant, smoking crack, cocaine.
Yeah.
And the way she changed her life, persistent what did you say?
Perseverance?
Perseverance.
I got you.
Perseverance and stuff.
Yeah.
And I seen that. And you know, me going in and out, I'm like, yo, my mother doing this.
Yeah.
I gotta do this. And when I see my mom do that, I said, you know what? I do it, and I can show people that we came from the same plot you went from.
Right.
And I think that's the dopest thing in the world, when you can get up and dust yourself off. Don't get it twisted. You're gonna have some people shut the doors in your face because of prison. Right. You're gonna have. You just said it's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
So I have individuals that I work with, I get paid for, and we have a re-entry friendly job. And they know where my guys come from, but they say, okay, we're friendly and we want some of your guys to work with us. But when they see their criminal record, they be like, well, we can't work with them. Wait a minute, we just had a whole meeting for an hour, and now you're telling me that the guys can't do this, or they want to take a class and these guys can't. So it's like, how do you want me to do better if I can't get better? You know what I mean? But then you have some guys that say, you know what? Let me wipe my hands and start this over. and let me start this over.
I think a lot of times too, I've seen people being in positions where they focus on entrepreneurship because of that reason. That's why a lot of times you hear guys focusing on just having their own business because, and any entrepreneurship, in any form of business, because of that reason of I'm applying for a job, I'm trying to start from somewhere, I'm starting from scratch, but I'm not getting the opportunity because you keep trying to remind me, like what the devil likes to do is try to remind you of what you did wrong, but God forgives. And if God forgives, you better forgive, because at the end of the day, it's not, as I said before, it's not to try to define who you are, but it's how you overcome those try to define who you really are. And I've seen people persevering. The Bible says that perseverance builds up character. So when you persevere and overcome those barriers, those struggles, the hardships there, nothing can stop you. Can nothing stop you. So, you know, that's an encouragement in itself. But I believe that people need to be in a position of being more compassionate, be more empathetic. Because guess what? Although you might not have encountered what that person's going through, but if you see how great they can be, why not pray for them? Why not see the greatness that they can be? Why not maximize their strength of what they give to the table as far as what they can facilitate, what they just bring to the table in itself? Stop trying to focus on the negativity aspect of that and focusing on what they bring to the table and how well they can like really bring about change, facilitate a different way of an outlet to really express their reality and just trying to make a difference. Because you know what? A lot of times that people that has made differences came from the gutter. They came from struggles. They came from hoods. And they overcame that. So what I'm saying is that there has to be an aspect of it where you have to listen in and stop being so resentful and have this disdain for someone because you look at their criminal history. No, find out. And find out how they can be an asset, not liability. Yeah, what you gotta say to that?
So that's 100% true. Like I also look at it like this. If you don't want me to rob you, give me a job. If you don't want me to sell drugs to your daughter or your son, give me a job. Give me something where I don't have to feel like I have to take something from you because I feel that you don't like me. No matter what, you don't even know me who I am as an individual. But because you see me, you don't like me. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. Give me something so I can work with. Don't give me shit and then say work with it. How can I do that? You know what I'm saying? So you have to, one hand washes the other, in my opinion, right? So if you telling me that you're gonna help me out, and then when you see what's going on, you don't help me out, I feel bitter. I feel now that you don't want to help me. The people that my friends, my homies, my boys, they out here in the street. What's my easiest thing to do? Go back to the street, go back to hustling.
Right, because that's what they know, that's what they see.
And hopefully I see you that told me no.
You know what's funny? I'm a big fan of Underdog. That's why I like this production. It's called UDR Underdog Production because we're like the underdogs here. Local cast that's just heroes. But, and I don't mean local like as a way of undermining. Because it's like the story of Samson. He was just a local hero in the Bible. It's kind of like us in that sense that we just local heroes just trying to, you know, really make a name for ourselves. Not to be boastful, absolutely not. But it's about support. And it's about really maximizing to your point of a person's full potential. I have worked with young people who have been in gangs. I have worked with young people that have sold dope. I have dealt with young females that was involved in human trafficking, prostitution, and so forth, and they became somewhat of importance. Why? Because I took the time to see what does God gave us for us the ability to be the greatest. And they saw that, they're like, wow, don't never even talk to me on that level. Because inspiration, and we started exploring and navigating this walk together as far as figuring out, okay, what are you good at? What is your interest? And they'll say things like, you know, I love poetry, I'm a poet. You know, I've done open mic nights, including young people. You know, we've done talent shows, including young people. I had kids that's into sports. Okay, let's get on the varsity team. Let's get on the junior varsity team. Let's connect with coaches. Let's get into tryouts to really showcase your interest and really exponentiate that to a higher level. To really take it to really elevate to a different stratosphere. So the point is that I'm salvaging and maximizing a young person's full potential and how great they can be. And if more people have that mindset of saying, you know what, let's really galvanize and really reproduce a stronger generation, then the inclination of crimes, bad behavior, getting expelled in school, being railroaded from school to prison pipeline is going to be a lot less. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. And you speak of Allah and God a lot, right?
Right.
And I appreciate that, right?
Absolutely.
Because some people are afraid to say that, right?
I'm not saying.
And that's great, right?
I'm afraid of that. That's for
right.
sure.
So I think that we got to start being afraid of where we come from. You know what I'm saying? Because without the beginning, we can't never get no further. So therefore, I don't care. In my opinion, I don't care who your higher power is. You know what I mean? Put somebody there, and you just can't say, "Well, I believe in God, so this gotta happen." No, you gotta put work in it. You gotta put your
your body work gotta be in full display.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I said that before, and I said this again. You know, I've had people tell me all the time about how, you know, I pray to God. I'm like, okay, you pray to God, but are you putting in the work? Are you listening for His instructions? What is the Lord speaking to you about? Are you listening? Are you like going forward? Are you walking? Are you doing it? Because if you're just saying, okay, I want a job, but you're not doing nothing, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
You got to put in the work. And in life, you're going to have rejection, but you keep going. Because let me tell you something.
Perseverance.
Right, perseverance. And for me, I'm not going to sit there and tell you I was afraid of where I came from. I'm glad of where I came from. Because being where I came from is where I'm at today. And believe you me, even though I'm at a different place now, I never forgot where I came from. Because the journey in between is what kept me going as far as perseverance. And a lot of young people have gone to that point of where they started somewhere and they stuck, but they're trying to find a way out. And I've led many young people to job corps, to colleges. So it gets done. It gets done. But we need more people to really invest and to say, you know what, young brothers, young sisters, you know what, little dudes, big dudes, whomever, listen, let's get together. You know what, let's keep figuring things out, because you know what, there is a way out. And like I said, I've seen people working in school systems where you're not made to be in those school systems, because like I said, you might travel to, let's say, Bridgeport, but you live in Greenwich. How do you relate to kids in Bridgeport and you live in an affluent area? You could bring light and say, look, you know what, let me teach you about finances, let me teach you about money management. Bring something to the table that a young person can say, man, I can live life in an area there where I can see beyond 3 blocks.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it takes dedicated people to really invest. So what's your brother? Yeah.
You have to bring something new to the table. If you're from a suburb and you're working in the inner city, you can't go there and say, well, this is the curriculum, and so this is what we're gonna do, A, B, C, D. After a while, you get bored of A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D doesn't mean anything to me, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta elevate these individual minds. I don't care, man, woman, child, or foe. You have to elevate people's mind to see, oh, my mind do work. Because all I know is A, B, and C.
Right.
And that doesn't get me nowhere.
Right. And, you know, I've said this before, and I'll say this again. I think a lot of times with me, like when I was in school, there were subject matters that I was taught in school that meant nothing to me. Like, I live in the Bronx. Why are you teaching me Macbeth? Why are you teaching me Romeo and Juliet? Like, what does that got to do with my life?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Teach me something that's so meaningfully engaging and connecting to where I can say, okay, now school gives me motivation to learn something different. Like, if you're going to teach math about geometry where I got to measure the distance, measure to buy a house. Make things relevant.
Right.
That connects, so that when they are out there, once they get past high school, they know what they're looking for in terms of how to apply what has been educated. Because I believe, for me, this is my opinion, I think teaching is like short term, but education is long term, because education is continuously growing and cultivating. It's ongoing, because you can never say learning is never enough. No, you learn something different and new every day. It's infinite. It's infinite. And like I said, it really comes from dedicated people that understands the dynamic of the population that you work with, and to stand up against those who are in position that can really affect change.
Yeah, you should never stop learning.
Oh, absolutely not.
You should never stop learning. A lot of times they say, well, we're not going here. I say learn about your neighborhood. Some people never been down the street and knowing that it's a food court down the street.
Yeah.
Some of these kids don't know it's a food court or a clothing store. But what happened is our minds are messed up. And it brings back to you what you had started in the first session. You were talking about we need to go some places and things of that nature.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that. And right here in our neighborhoods, man, we have mental, as you said, it's not healthy, but we have mental health issues. And people don't want to sit there and be like, well, something wrong with me. There's something wrong with us when we think that we go out here and see a drug dealer every day selling drugs, or people getting shot, or something, me carrying a gun. If me going to jail 4 or 5 times in my life over 20-something years, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me.
I think what it is that, first of all, let me say this, and I want to really hone in on this word mental health. There's nothing healthy when you have a mental disorder. There's nothing healthy. It should be mental unhealth. Because when you have mental disorders, we need to address and figure out as far as what's triggering that behavior or what's being triggered for that diagnosis to be displayed as far as what you have and how to overcome that. As far as, dealing with that matter in itself. One of the big things I've seen for young people is that they experience trauma at an early age. What you were saying earlier, what you were saying before about how they saw, their father getting shot by some drug dealer from around the block, or they saw their mother getting, shooting up while she's pregnant. Like, they see a lot of traumatic experiences that's just so heartbreaking that they react in such a way that their mind, body, and soul it's just so filled up and just saturated with so much hatred, so much resentment, and so much fright. Like, they bug out because this is what they see. Yeah. But I believe that we have to chop down those layers, and believe you me, when you start unpackaging their baggage, the weight feels a lot lighter. Yeah. But it takes really loving, genuine, dedicated people to really unpack those baggages so that when they get older, or when they're achieving more goals, guess what? Now they're telling their story to someone that they can relate to. And that's all important. Yeah.
So you spoke about that, right? About the schools and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So when I was coming up, at one time we had the third worst murder rate in the country.
Right.
And if someone in my school got killed, our therapy was, a lot of speaking in the morning, we're gonna give a moment of silence of such and such. What is that doing for me when this is my best friend or this is my baby father? What is that truly doing? A moment of silence? And then next year you gotta go to school. You go to some of these suburbs, and somebody getting in a car accident. They offering therapy, they offering out of school, they offering all this stuff to deal with that.
Support, yeah.
They offering all that, and we get in certain neighborhoods we get a moment of silence. And then, like you said, we need to take this baggage off so that we can walk and feel better.
Yeah.
We don't feel good about ourselves.
Right.
How am I feel good about you? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think yeah, absolutely. I think that let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this again. God didn't make no error when He made people. He made people exactly how He wanted to be. We have to love each other. We have to encourage each other. We have to, as you were saying before, about how when a kid came from the suburbs area, got hit by a car, and there was a whole big forum just to rally and galvanize to help each other out during that time of war, for example. We cry just like they do. We feel hurt like they do. So if a kid of color got hit by a car, it shouldn't be, no, well, that's just how it is. No, that's desensitizing that whole idea that it's normalized. Nah, kill that, man. It's not normalized. If someone gets shot, someone got hit by a car, they feel pain just like we do. So the same support that you have about, seeing therapists and counselors there, to incorporate after-school programs, to have these forums and discussions and assemblies about how to overcome the violences and the atrocities that's been dealt upon us, that's been a generational curse for years. We deserve that opportunity just like a kid that's a non-person of color. But again, you can't make it a whole black and white because we bleed the same color and there's only one race, the human race. And people need to stop with that whole mindset that because I look different from you, it gives you right to look down upon or even look up to someone like I'm better than or you're less than. Stop that mentality. And I said this before and I said this again. Get that hate out your heart. Get that hate out your heart, man. Because let me tell you something. God don't like ugly. So I know it's always about that time. So just in your opinion, what does it mean to have love? Like to love young people, to like love others? In your opinion, real quick.
To love someone is to me, love and care almost go hand in hand, right? So I need to care for you to love you. So if I don't care for you, I don't love you. Even though I say I love you, but I don't care if I'm going out doing this and this to you, and I say I love you, but I don't care that you call me and I didn't answer the phone for you, and I'm your mentor. Right. I'm not caring about you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So therefore, I don't love you. Yeah. So you have to put those two in the same hand. Love and care means a lot to me. Because without one, you can't have the other, in my opinion.
Right.
Right. And just it's just
no, and I tell you what, man. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, man. Listen, we're about to wind down. About to close this out. Absolutely. Listen, I just want to say this and we're going to close this out. Like I said, man, love God first, love the Lord first, and you got to love each other, man, and really bring about encouragement. And again, don't focus on the negativity or don't focus on the weaknesses of a person, but focus on their strength and pray for them, build them up and like uplift them. Because let me tell you something, when you speak life to them, now they got something to be inspired by and be motivated by. But on that note, folks, once again, I humbly ask you guys, subscribe to UDR Production Go Love Team. Shout out to Murphy's Law. Shout out to East Coast Forum. Give support to your boy MVP Most Valuable Poet. Once again, I'll say it one more time. I humbly ask you guys, please subscribe to UDR Production Go Love Team. Alright? I ain't forget that, baby. So once again, shout out to my man Roland for coming on to the show.
Hey, yo.
Guys, peace and love. Love you guys. God bless you guys. You're gonna go ahead and get to next time.
Yo, peace, yo. And yo, when you see somebody, speak to them, man. You don't know what you could be doing to that individual, man. Speak to them.
They're gonna receive that, absolutely. Feel good? That was dope?
That was dope.
That was dope. Appreciate that, man. That was dope. That was dope. And this is what we do.
Yes, indeed, y'all. Yes, indeed. Welcome to UDR Productions. Please like, subscribe, and share. It doesn't cost you nothing to subscribe, so we can keep bringing you guys all this good content from prayer to streets. UDR Productions. Let's go and let's get it.